Welcome to Maryland, a place where the seasons don't matter and the weather doesn't count. This is Cory, and this is the Anthem podcast.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob. Another lesson for Maryland. Avoid boner to chow at all costs.
So, because I assume most of you missed the epic pre-roll that you can get at patreon.com.
God damn it! You almost got it wrong. Well, no. Here's the thing.
I brake-checked on it.
Here's the thing. No, if they want to find out what boner to chow is, what they're going to have to do is go to patreon.com/Oh the Anthem and sign up for the pre-roll footage.
It's good this week.
Every week.
It's good.
This weekend, every week, what we do is record pre-roll. It's just us warming up and getting ready for the show and just kind of talk about things that happened during the week. There's actually a lot of stuff that you'll get access to. The pre-roll is just one of
the many great things.
A laundry list of things. And you'll be able to find that at, again, patreon.com/Oh the Anthem. And this week, particularly great, you'll find out about the next great Oh the Anthem project. Boner to chow.
Or some other name.
Or some other name. You'll see.
Rob's going the Taffer approach, but it's all right. Real quick.
Yeah.
I didn't, just bringing it around to another Oh the Anthem digital property.
Yeah.
I didn't bring anything up about this before the show started because I wanted to get your raw reaction live here.
Raw. Here we go.
On the Dirty Shore Underground Walking Dead bonus episode.
Yes.
You said, Kenny said that Cory is a Rick.
Yes.
And then you said, no, Cory's not a Rick. Cory's a Eugene. Defend yourself to my face. Defend yourself.
First of all,
listen, I laughed about it because I know you're kidding because, hair game strong. But
right, exactly. And I made the comment afterward, hair game strong.
Yeah.
He's rocking the Eugene. Now, it doesn't look like Eugene when he has a hat off. It's just the hat and the earphones.
Yeah, I would like to think that Eugene is rocking a me, but that's all right.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. So, two things. One, hair game strong. Two, I would like to make a side comment before I get to the main point.
Yeah.
Number one is, I will know that we have made it as a podcast when there is a after show podcast that discusses our podcast.
Yeah.
I have always loved the idea that someone would be like our show so much that they would be like, let's talk about what those guys talked about this week, or let's talk about what happened in the Patreon feed this week, or what happened on Facebook this week, or I know I can't get away with talking about you on the other shows of the network because you listen to this.
Yeah.
So,
as a proud owner of the network, not alone, obviously. I'm just saying.
But
yeah. I like to keep up on the properties.
Right. Sure.
I don't want somebody walking up to me on the street going like, hey, listen to the last episode of Dirty Shore Underground and I got problems. I'd be like,
oh, not me. Not me.
I had nothing to do with that. I just kind of own it.
See, but that would give you plausible deniability. It would be almost better if you'd be like, listen, you need to talk to them about that. I don't handle any of that.
Well, that's what I would do even if I watched it.
But you'd like to know what it is they're
I'd like to know what they're upset about.
Oh, so this is a crazy Trump supporter. I'm not really that worried about it. Or it's the FBI. We got problems.
Yeah, but
right.
I would like to just state for the record that if I'm anybody on The Walking Dead, I'm probably the Glenn. I'm probably the guy who like, while it doesn't look like I have it in me to like stab people in the head,
right?
Like when push comes to shove, I get to that point.
And
like I may not be like the person, because he's pizza delivery boy beforehand,
right? Not
necessarily a leadership guy,
right? Even
though I like to think that I have very good leadership, I'm not the type of person. I'm not, governor of Maryland right now. I'm not a authority figure ahead of time. But once I get into the position where I have to instill authority, I would.
I like to think that I think Glenn is the perfect example of who you would be in The Walking Dead. Kenny went with Rick.
Yeah.
There's a reason that I laugh when he says Rick.
Right.
Because, generally speaking, I don't see you as the natural-born leader. I don't see you as the gun-toting guy. I don't see you as the guy who rips out somebody's throat with his teeth and then stands up with blood hanging down and says, "What?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not you.
I'm not Rick. What I am, I'm like the I think I would be like you kept saying like, you know, like you'd be the governor kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'd be like the Karl Rove of the zombie apocalypse. I'd be the guy who's right next to the guy who's telling the guy what to say.
You're
and I'm
the
just
Glenn
like,
now.
I'm just like, wait a minute, hold on, I don't think this is such a good idea. And I sort of influence the direction where things go, even without being the quote unquote leader.
Using the governor example, the governor had that right hand guy.
I'm the silent hand.
You're the one who keeps the sociopath able to talk to the people.
Right.
When they're like, hey, Rob. Yeah, so can we discuss for a second?
Can we powwow on this for a minute?
The 20-hour work days. People need to sleep. I know that you don't sleep so much, and you're just up doing stuff all day and killing zombies and doing your thing. Get that? Yeah. Normal people need to sleep.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to just tune that down. Let's bring that down to a 15-hour work day. Yeah. So that's your role, and it's a respectable role.
It's now, needed in the zombie apocalypse.
Will your head end up in my aquarium tank? Possibly. I can't say for sure.
You can't make promises?
I can't make promises one way or another. We'll avoid it at all costs.
Yeah.
But, sacrifices need to be made. I'm just excited because this week we bought our opening day ticket.
Yeah, thank God.
For fuck's sake. I want to say, somebody at the Orioles listens to this podcast, and they were just like, "Oh shit, did we not do that yet? Oh fuck, yeah." They
Somebody get Gary on the phone.
They were talking. Chet, the corporate scapegoat, is going to come out and be like, "We do listen to the Odie and the podcast. We are sorry, guys. We didn't realize the opening."
I should probably check the email to see if we got an apology from Chet.
But no, I would just like to think that they listened to the podcast because it came out on Tuesday. We got the email on Wednesday about the tickets coming out.
I would like to say that it's not necessarily just like some guy in the office, but Peter Angelo's.
He actually listens to the podcast?
Yeah, he gets a good guffaw out of our shenanigans.
Yeah. And then he said, what is this? These two loyal followers, these two loyal listeners, these two loyal fans cannot get their tickets yet? This is a shame.
Dan, if you don't do something about it right now, I'm firing the whole lot of you.
Boop. Tickets are on sale. And so
thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Thanks to us.
Yeah.
I guess is basically it.
Well, I guess that's you're welcome, Birdland. But so as part of the opening day festivities, as you know, as you listeners know, every year we go and we have a whole kind of opening day weekend celebration. Well, this year we have a very special part of that opening day weekend because we're participating in Birdland Radio.
Yep.
So the guys from Section 336 have kind of set this thing up.
Yeah, and basically what it is, it's like a podcast-a-thon, basically, where all the local shows will get together and each take up like an hour throughout the Sunday to get you prepared for the Orioles season. And there's going to be fun and games and lots of mixing and matching. Yeah.
Shenanigans.
So I'm looking forward to it because I would love nothing more than to podcast about the Orioles.
and all day.
And all day and just hang out and
kind of meet everybody in the podcast community.
Do men things with the men.
I'm wondering if there will be any girls there. I feel like this is going to be kind of like Dungeons and Dragons Club.
Only Orioles.
Only for the Orioles. It's just going to be a bunch of guys hanging out doing guy things. Which makes me think we may need to go to that strip club on Sunday night just to kind of... Well, we'll be right downtown. We can go to the Goddess.
Wipe the slate clean.
just wipe the slate clean. Too much guy stuff all day.
Too many guy stuff. We got to go to the strip club and work it out.
Exactly.
Maybe... Okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll go to Fogo de Chao first and steal some of their coasters.
Right.
And then go to the strip club and then
be like,
see if it works.
Do you not understand what the red light means? Do you not understand the red light? Red light is no. Stop. Green light is yes.
Listen, Marcy the stripper. First of all, you have an awful name.
Marcy.
Second of all, no offense to anybody named Marcy. It's an awful stripper name. Second of all, clearly you're not good enough to be approaching the airspace. So
yes. So anyway, make sure you check out Birdland Radio. I think it's birdlandradio.org? .com. Birdlandradio.com.
Exactly what you think it would be.
Birdlandradio.com. So that'll be coming up on April the 4th. No, April the 3rd. So the Sunday before opening day. You'll be able to catch us at 4 p.m. Is that how I got that mixed up? I think it's April the 3rd at 4 p.m. is what our segment will be in.
I'll double check that. But...
Here in the video, you will see the time in which... you can catch us there.
Yep.
That'll be us. Oh, that's us right there. Hey, there we are. But make sure you do listen all day. It's a great program. There's some great sponsors.
And it's going to a good cause.
Absolutely.
That's the other thing. They're trying to raise money for, and again, I forget the name of the charity.
You're horrible at this.
It's homelessness in Baltimore. It's an important cause.
Look at this great sponsor.
Look at this great, awesome cause that we're all doing this for.
Yes, yeah.
Right up here in the video.
So, and also, of course, they're always looking for sponsors. So if you or your organization or your business would like to sponsor it, always looking to help out this great cause that we have here.
Yep. Email Cory at otheanthem.com and I'll get you more
in
info.
Touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so make sure you check that out April the 3rd, and then lead into April the 4th is opening day. Of course, we will be going live. You'll be able to catch updates at O The Anthem on all your social networks, at LegendCB5 on Twitter and Instagram, at Robert and Cheek on all your social networks. Stay in touch with us all day, all weekend. And then Tuesday, you will not hear from us at all because we are 30 and we will be recovering from all day of drinking.
Well, I'll be working.
Oh, no. So. I will not be.
Yeah, O The Anthem is going on at 4:30.
That's pretty
We're
close.
going right after Bird's Eye View. Good. And followed by Bert's Game.
Good.
So maybe we'll play the game.
So make sure you check that out.
Bird's Eye View, Barstool DMV, Perched at the Yard, Section 336, Backward K, OBP Podcast, Utah Street Report, Camden Chat, Between Two Birds, and us. And it's going towards the Helping Up mission.
Helping Up mission, as you could see in the video right here. So always looking for help. Make sure if you'd like to sponsor, send an email to Cory@otheanthem.com, and make sure you check it out on the day of. More opening day news. We will have merchandise. Shirts are going up.
Yes.
By the time this posts.
Look for the post.
Yes.
Go to the show notes.
Yes.
You will see up top, just up at the top, there's a new tab for email list. You can sign up for the email list there. Already getting some submissions for that.
Yes.
On there as well is going to be a new merch tab.
Yay!
In that merch tab, you will find O The Anthem opening day shirts. Well, not just opening. You can wear them all season long. They're not. They don't just say like opening day 16.
Although maybe we should do opening day shirt. It's a little limited, but yes, it's an Orioles shirt.
Yeah, it's an Orioles shirt. To celebrate the season, to celebrate your favorite podcast, which also loves the Orioles. So, go buy a shirt.
Yeah. And if you sign up at Patreon, there's some implications to that. So check it out, patreon.com/O The Anthem. Check out the merch. Sign up for the email list. Join us for Birdland Radio. We have so much stuff going on.
And Heretics, which is coming
so
very soon because we got ducks in a row now.
Everything. Who's trying to take over the world, though?
Who?
Apple.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Apple.
But I gotta say, for all my hatred of Apple and Apple products in general, I'm very proud of the folks over at Apple.
Yeah, we have had a long-running bit here on the show.
It's only about 102 episodes long now.
Where we talk about how much Apple doesn't care about your privacy.
Yes.
Specifically with the case of like law enforcement calling up Apple and asking for information. And then getting it.
Like, do you have a subpoena? Yes. What's the subpoena number? 6. Good enough for me.
Come on in. Yeah. Enjoy Rob's iPhone.
But, meanwhile...
Apple, applause to Apple.
Very much so.
For standing up to the feds and saying it's not right that you try to diminish our product by making it easier for you to get in. And... You know, I hate the argument that has been going around by stupid people that say, you know, it's one terrorist iPhone, just unlock it and, like, it's just going to be this once.
Yes.
Because it's terrorism.
But.
No.
No.
Because almost immediately after this argument started coming out, the New York Police Department said, we have 184 iPhones that we need to unlock.
Yeah.
To figure out who committed crimes, and we need that access too. Yeah. It's like, all right, now we're going from one isolated incident that happens once every 15 years to something that happens
and they have a term
175 times a week.
They have a term for that. Do you know what that term is?
Bait and switch?
Well, no. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
You hear me talk about slippery slopes a lot. this is the perfect example of a slippery slope where they say, listen, it's only the one time. We just need this one code and then let us in, and it's one phone this one time. And then the cops say, oh, well, you know what? And while we're doing it this one time, let's just call it one time, and we'll do all the phones that we have this one time.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, then it's going to be, why don't you give us the code? And then we'll be able to just get in if we need to, but we promise we won't use it except for when we have, you know, a subpoena and see, you know, that we need to absolutely use it. Slippery slope.
Now, here's the other thing. The FBI has a lot of information from the cell phone because they put in their subpoena and they got all the updated iCloud information.
Right.
Which include texts, phone calls, pictures, everything, pretty much.
GPS. I'm
pretty
sure, yeah.
Yeah. And that should be fine enough, but the problem is that they didn't update their iCloud in the 15 days before the shooting or whatever.
Okay.
However much time it was, and that's the time that the FBI really wants to narrow down on, and sorry?
I mean...
all I think about when I... granted, I use technology a lot.
No, you don't. You're scared of Venmo.
I
Hackers, don't try to get into Cory's Venmo account. He doesn't have one.
Just get into everybody else's and prove me right. Looking at you, Anonymous.
They're too busy with Donald Trump. They don't give a shit about me and my Venmo account.
I just remember back in the 1920s when police work involved like intelligence gathering and like
when they actually did police work?
Yeah, like when they're just like, wow, this is a real whodunit. Maybe we should inquire into the whereabouts of where this guy was the day before the murder, and you know, like
I'll
maybe
just
we should
point
see
out
if he has any enemies.
Also, back when 90% of murders were solved, or I'm sorry, when 70% of murders were solved and 90% of rapes were solved, that number is substantially lower now. Something like 30% of rapes and 20% of murders are solved now.
Yeah.
But you know what they do a lot of? A lot of drugs. Finding a lot of drugs. The thing about murder and rape is there is no money to be had in it. But you find somebody with drugs, we get to keep the car, we get to keep the TV in the house, and the boat, and the cash, and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a side issue. Yes, but back when police work was police work, and they actually went out and they looked for information and they found it, they just basically sit around and they're like, well, I don't know. If we can't get access to this phone, everyone's basically dead. So I don't know what we can do. Terrorists win.
I'm just...
Connect all these little dots, ignoring everything else, kind of like the O.J. Simpson trial, ignoring everything else. Wait, no, that one actually applies. I don't know.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes.
I don't know if you're watching The People versus O.J. Simpson.
Oh, God. If fucking Sarah Paulson doesn't win all the awards...
Oh, my God.
...for what she's been doing on that show, then there's no faith left in...
If Christopher Darden didn't actually hit that in real life, and that is how it went down, oh, God. I can't even.
God, I hate... the one thing that I think I dislike most when I see it like on film or on TV or something like that is like when you get like the guy and the girl who are staring at each other and you can clearly see that the guy is doing the like, should I do it? Should I do it?
Should I do it?
And then you look, the camera flips over to the girl and she just gives like the little lip, like the like...
That like is the signal.
Yeah, that one little like... curl the lip underneath the teeth, and you're just like, fucking do it!
Do it,
That's
man!
basically her saying, go for it.
It's not going to happen. And the question is, will the FBI be able to force Apple to do this? Arguments for the first thing will be had before Magistrate Judge Sherry Pym on Tuesday, same day that this episode drops. So make sure you have eyes out for news on that. The likelihood is that this case is not going to end in her courtroom. That this will be appealed no matter what the result is, and it will be appealed all the way up to the Supreme Court. And the question will be, as it stands right now, is who will this be heard in front of? Because right now...
we have 8 justices.
And it looks like it would probably be locked 4-4. But we're moving in a direction because President Obama this week nominated Merrick or Merrick Garland. I can't remember which direction his name goes.
It's the second one.
Is it Merrick Garland?
Yeah.
Merrick Garland is in fact his name. Chief Judge
because
of the Federal Court of Appeals.
Because all I've
of
wanted
DC.
to do since I've heard that name,
and
wanted to do it on the podcast, obviously, was go somewhere over the rainbow.
So President Obama has nominated Merrick Garland, Chief Judge of the Federal Court of Appeals in D.C., to the Supreme Court.
And that court is basically like one of those stepping stone courts. Like it's like the one.
It is the farm team.
Yeah.
It is AAA ball, getting ready to go play in the bigs. Buck Showalter, our beloved Buck Showalter, would say that it's the extended roster for the Supreme Court.
It's the 40-man.
it's the extended 40-man roster. So we use it just the same way. But we have a nominee in an election year. And now we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But it's likely that unfortunately for Judge Garland, he will probably not see the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I have to imagine that he was picked as a let's see how crazy they are kind of pick.
Yes.
Especially with the quote from Orrin Hatch, which is just like anybody who disagrees with this nomination for when he was going to the Court of Appeals there.
Right. They nominated again in 97, and he passed with flying colors as far as it's concerned.
As far as a nomination goes, yeah.
I think he got high 70s. And Orrin Hatch, a Republican senator, was quoted as saying about him now that Obama could easily name Merrick Garland, who is a fine man. He probably won't do that because this appointment is about the election. Ridiculous to have so much politics involved in the legal process. This just says everything that's wrong with the country.
Well, one place where I like that politics didn't seem to really play too much of a part in a legal decision was the Maryland Court of Appeals on the Baltimore 6.
Absolutely right. And luckily, it was announced this week that all the trials have now been reset.
It was actually a little while ago. We were busy with 100th episode.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Well, it was announced earlier that all the trials have been reset, including William Porter's trial, which will be a retrial. For those of you who aren't familiar, this is the Baltimore Corner.
Where you get the straight dope.
Exactly. And so if you haven't been following the Freddie Gray case,
first of all, welcome.
Flashback to April of 2015 for our discussion about Freddie Gray. But William Porter had his first trial in December, which ended in a mistrial when the jury could not reach a verdict. The second trial was about to begin in January when William Porter refused to testify based on his Fifth Amendment right.
And I think it was Edward Nero.
Was it Nero?
Yeah, I think Nero was the case that was about to happen.
And Porter, and then a couple of the other people said, well, my trial isn't yet either, and I'm not going to testify either.
Yeah.
And so it went up on appeal to the circuit. The circuit addressed it, and then it went up on appeal to the Court of Special Appeals, and then the Court of Appeals of Maryland, which both came down and said, if the state is going to grant limited immunity, then your Fifth Amendment right does not apply. So basically what Marilyn Mosby has said is, William Porter, what you said in your first trial will be used against you in your second trial. But what you testify to against these other officers and other officers, what you testify to in trials that are not your own, cannot be used against you in that trial. Which is smart on her part, because they're going to start throwing each other under the bus. Like it's going out of style. And, William Porter didn't have that problem because I think that this is a change in her stance because Porter went so poorly.
A friend of mine just passed away this past week, the Godfather. Mm-hmm. I wasn't close friends with him, but, he certainly knew me and I certainly knew him.
Gave you your nickname.
Yeah. And, I'm really upset. He had cancer, and it was upsetting to see, pictures of him.
We went to the memorial, or not the memorial, but the fundraiser.
Yeah.
And I had met him a couple of times, and he looked way different there than he had previously, obviously.
Yeah.
So.
And, it's sad. It's a friend of mine who passed. And, Trey Walker was a friend to many who passed.
Right.
And it's all equally sad. But, you might do a Facebook status that says RIP Trey Walker and see somebody else post like, RIP to the Godfather and think, like, well, I don't know that guy.
Right.
So how could he have touched lives or been, generally speaking, everybody take the time to think about others when you think about death. Because, that person's not here anymore, but they still have many people who are upset and heartbroken and all the lot. I don't know. It's just I always hate when you watch the news and they talk about somebody who dies and they'd be like, he would have turned 23 next week on Thursday. Cut to the next story. And I'm just like, oh, God. Why do you have to tell me that he would have been 23 next week?
Right.
Because, he died at a stray gunshot, and all I can think of is he probably was already making plans.
Oh, yeah. He had things to do next week.
Yeah, like, he had already told all his friends, like, hey, next week we're going to the bar, we're having fun.
Yeah.
We're going to power plant.
But what are you doing next week? Do you have plans for next week?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stray Bullet could end all of that.
Yeah. So, it's... I always hate the birthday one in particular because the first thing I think about is like, people like we're gonna get together for an occasion.
Yep.
If it happened, if some guy was like, born in September, but he was a big Orioles fan, and they said like he was a huge Orioles fan, and I'm like, he died 2 weeks before opening day.
Yeah.
Like,
Dear.
Like, I don't know. Just be nice to people, please.
Yes.
Stop with all this nonsense.
All life is important.
Yeah.
And don't vote for Donald Trump, because all life is important.
All lives matter, people.
Well, hey.
I'm saying this in not a political statement, just a general...
All lives do matter. Yes.
We can all agree that.
Yes.
All right.
All lives do matter.
Yeah.
Especially all lives in Baltimore, and all lives that listen to this podcast are especially important.
Do you know where all lives also matter?
Where's that?
TheAnthem.com, or TheAnthem.com, or The Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, and the listener line, 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
443-219-7595.
And you can find me on all your social networks at Robert N. Cheek. Make sure you check out robertncheek.com for all the links to my political blog and the news website and everything else, including links to the books, which are available on Amazon.
Buy Rob's books.
Thank you, sir. So, yeah.
Well, I think we've done good here today.
As always, we've done something. I don't know if it's good.
It's been a very legal-heavy show today.
Yeah, I was noticing that. We had a lot of legal stories. So
we should call this one Law School in a Pod.
Feeling appropriate since, I'm an attorney. So
yeah. It helps to have one of those.
It certainly does help.
Yeah.
So,
and the friend of an attorney.
and the son. Son, attorney. And
grandson.
You're one removed from many attorneys.
I've told people before, like, when they come to me for legal advice, I basically have a law degree because of all the connections that I have to lawyers.
By proxy.
Yeah.
Law degree by proxy, sure. Well, as always, you're listening to the The Anthem podcast, part of the The Anthem Digital Network. For Cory, this is Rob. Have a great week, everybody. And make sure you check out TheAnthem.com. New merch available. So much stuff available now. Yay! And Patreon.com/TheAnthem.
And goodbye, Godfather. You will be missed.
R.I.P.